Hello everyone, this is Southern by Whisper. I hope you all are doing well today and that you are having a lovely July 1st. This video was requested, actually. I asked my best friend. I said, I really want to do a video today, but I'm all out of ideas. And she said, you should do like a Monday makeup look video. And I was like, yeah, it has been a while since I did a get ready with me video. But this one is going to be a little bit different. And I didn't even tell her that I was doing it like this. Me and her 2 children are going to see Inside Out 2 tomorrow. It's the first time for them and the second time for me. I'm so excited. And so I've decided to do this get ready with me inspired by the emotion anxiety and just be rambling about what I've dealt with personally when it comes to anxiety and what I've done the past years that I've had it to help it and how it's changed over the years. So let's get started. I've restarted this video so many times, you guys. I've already straightened my hair, but I will brush it for you guys. You guys, my hair is the healthiest it's been in years. And I will never cut it again, ever. I like having long hair. I don't know why I even ever cut it, to be honest. Even God says not to cut your hair. That's your blessing, it's your shield. Whatever he says about having long hair. I haven't read that part of my Bible yet. But yeah, I've dealt with anxiety pretty much my entire life. Both my parents have anxiety, and so it's genetic pretty much. But as I got older, I wanted to impress everybody that I met, especially boys. And my bullies, I've wanted to impress them, and that just made it so much worse. Was trying to impress people. So, and then like moments in my life where the anxiety got real bad. This one time when I was 11, and I was in not summer school, but vacation Bible school. And the pastor was talking about Revelation. And I think Revelation has pretty much scared everybody shitless. Sorry for the cussing. Because he just talked about, Jesus is going to come back any day now. And mark your T's and cross your Q's, or cross your T's and mark your Q's, whatever the saying is. And so it scared me. It scared me a lot. I was like, man, I don't want Jesus to come back now. I want to grow up. I want to have children. I want to have a husband and a big house with the picket fence and la la la. So that scared me for years. Believe it or not, was when I heard about Revelation. And then when I borrowed a movie from my best friend when I was 13. Her name was Missy. And she had the movie The Exorcist. And she talked me into borrowing it from her so I could watch it. So I watched it with my mom and you guys. For years, I was afraid that I was going to be possessed by the devil after watching that movie. And I think a lot of people felt that way after seeing that movie. I was was like, oh my gosh. I'd lay in bed and not be able to sleep and just be like, oh my gosh, any minute now I'm going to start talking like a man and having my head turn all the way around and vomiting pea soup and stuff like that. Yeah, it really scared me. And I shouldn't have watched that movie that young. I was only 13. But I begged my mom. I was like, please, Missy's seen it. And see, this is where that impressing people started coming in. I was like, I want to impress her and say that I've seen it. And I shouldn't have watched it because it freaked me out. That was the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. And I used to watch a lot of scary movies with my dad when I was very young, like 5. He would watch things like Pet Sematary, Chucky, Freddy. That's why I don't like horror movies to this day, is because of that. I would have night terrors because of those movies. And I don't think he really fully realized what he was letting me watch, though. He was an alcoholic and he didn't really know any better, so I can't really be mad at him for it and hold grudges, but yeah. That's where my night terrors start coming in. But no, my anxiety just really stems from trying to impress people and trying to be perfect and trying to fit in and trying to be somebody that I'm not, pretty much. You know, because you see people at school and, you know, that everybody's standing around and you know, obsessing over and like they're a idol or something, and I wanted to be one of those people so bad. I wanted to be one of the people that everybody was impressed with. Yeah. So, yeah, my anxiety pretty much stems from that. And then, like, moments in my life that have happened, let's think, brainstorm a little bit. Oh, this one time when I was working in Books A Million, I think I was 21 years old, and I was a cashier, and there was a bag of candied pecans in the drawer under the register that was there for like 2 weeks. And I know this was bad of me to begin with, but I was young and stupid, and I ate those candied pecans. And I had a bully at Books A Million, and her name was Lindsay. So guess whose pecans those belonged to? Yeah, Lindsay. Apparently, she had been on vacation for 2 weeks, those 2 weeks, and she had traveled an hour out of town to buy those candied pecans. And she was like, she pretended to be like an investigator. Like, she made a list of all the, you know, the people it might be that stole her pecans. She made a list of everybody I worked with and me. But I wanted to be the bigger person. So I went to her and I said, Lindsay, I'm sorry, but it was me that ate your pecans. I'm looking for my lipstick, you guys. Hold on 1 second. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh my goodness, please. Okay, here it is. Sorry. I told her, I said, it was me that ate your candied pecans. I said, I thought somebody had forgotten them because they'd been in there for 2 weeks, and I forgot to bring my lunch, and I was really hungry, and I'm really sorry. And she was like, well, you need to buy me another bag of pecans because those were really expensive. And I was like, okay. I said, okay, I will buy you another bag of pecans. But when she said that she wanted an expensive bag of pecans, she pretty much meant that she wanted me to drive an hour out of town and get her those certain pecans. Because I found a $10 bag of candied pecans, bigger than the one I ate. Just so I know she would be happy. And I took them to her, and she shoved them back at me, and she said, these aren't the right candied pecans. She said, the ones that I had were green pack, these aren't them. And I went outside. My mom had dropped me off at work that night, and she was still in the parking lot, and I guess I got in the car crying and said, and pretty much said, Lindsay didn't want those pecans. She said that they were the wrong ones. So my mom, being the badass bitch that she is, and she's 5'4", you guys, okay? And Lindsay was like 6 foot like me. And she went in that store, and she got in front of Lindsay. She said, they are freaking pecans. She said, my daughter went to 3 stores to find you those pecans, and you're just going to tell her that they are the wrong ones? And then Lindsay got upset, and she went to my boss, and my boss had to calm it down, and oh my gosh, you guys, I think I had the biggest panic attack that day. But yeah, pecans, you guys, freaking pecans. But my anxiety really got worse when I reached my early 20s. Well, that was my early 20s, but it really came to head around that time. I started having heart palpitations. I started having panic attacks all the time. And I've started having sleep paralysis a lot. If you guys don't know what sleep paralysis is, it's when you're sleeping and you wake up but you're still in REM sleep and you cannot move a muscle. And it's the scariest feeling. A lot of people on Google have said it's like a demon sitting on your chest. And that's the way it really feels, because you cannot move. I actually had sleep paralysis for the first time the other day. Because I was just stressing over a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I had it for the first time in a long time the other day, and it is not a good feeling. But yeah, I started having heart palpitations and sleep paralysis, sleepwalking a lot. So my mom took me to the doctor, and he put me on Xanax. So this is where Xanax came in. I didn't realize I'd put on my makeup so quickly. Maybe I'll need a little bit more blush. But yeah, this is where Xanax came in. And I'm not gonna lie, it did help at first with my anxiety a lot. You know, a lot of people are on Xanax these days. Hold on one second. And I don't judge them at all. I do not judge them. You know, whatever helps people. But yeah, I was put on Xanax when I was in my early 20s. And it helped at the time a lot. But I was still young and deluded and, to be honest, stupid. And still wanted to impress people. I had a lot of crushes, I've told you guys, on guys that I worked with. I was always trying to impress them. Like, I had really short hair when I was in my early 20s. You know, when you're in your early 20s, you want to try things that are new. You know, you want to try different things. So I cut all my hair off. But then I started wearing wigs that I got from the flea market around the boys. If I knew that a boy that I liked was working with me that day, I would actually wear a wig and like a dress and put on way too much makeup. And because I want to impress people. That's like I told you guys, that's pretty much where my anxiety stemmed from, was impressing people. I think this needs to be just a little bit more orange. But, yeah. My early 20s, I made some huge mistakes in my early 20s. And then I would have anxiety over the stupidest things. Like, oh my gosh, I don't weigh 120 pounds. Oh my gosh, I don't have at that time I didn't have my CNA yet, so I was like, I don't have a good job. I don't have this, I don't have that, I'm not this, I'm not that. And that just really riled up my anxiety. But, and through the years, my anxiety just got worse because I was in a relationship that I shouldn't have been. And I would just sit on the couch in my own head, and because my head was trying to tell me that's, they talk about listening to your heart, but also listening to your head, because my head was trying to tell me, get out of this, you're not happy, but I was trying to ignore it. I did ignore it because I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid that God would hate me if I left my husband during his time of need, because around that time is when he started relapsing and being on a bunch of drugs and losing friends to drugs. And I knew in my head, but when you fight with your head, when you fight with your heart, and what your head and your heart is trying to tell you, that's what causes anxiety. When the human part of you fights that voice, that inner voice in your head. So, but I can say that when I got with my ex, he was addicted to Xanax. So he would actually hide the Xanax from me so he could take them himself. But I can say that while I was with him, that was when I stopped taking Xanax as much, because he would take them. So I can say now that I have been sober when it comes to Xanax for almost a year. And that's because I've gotten older. And, a lot of people say once you hit 30, everything changes. It's like wires, and, Inside 2 explains it so well. Once you hit 30, things starts to change a lot. I realized when I turned 30 that that voice in my head just got louder and louder and louder, in which it caused my anxiety to like I'd be cowering like a little girl in the corner crying because I didn't understand at the time that you do have an inner voice, and it does try to help you during times of tribulations, trials and tribulations. And but it caused my anxiety to be really bad because I was fighting it. I was fighting my inner voice. I was like, shut up, just go away. I was like, just go away. Stop trying to control my life. Stop trying to control my head. Stop trying to control my heart. But when my brother passed away, that voice... Okay, how old was I when he passed away? 31. And that voice became a roar in my head. And that was around the time where I was contemplating what I told you guys about. I decided I don't want to mention that word in my videos because I don't know if there's anybody out there that listens to my videos that might have dealt with it. So, but that was around the time where I was contemplating because I was grieving. I was so unhappy. I was crying every day, working my butt off as a CNA, working 4 to 5 days a week, 12-hour night shifts, and like, And then last Thanksgiving, when he got in my mother's face and was calling her names, that voice finally penetrated my head, or my brain finally got in there, finally was like, okay, I got her, finally, because in my head I could hear myself screaming, nobody talks to my mother that way. My mother saved me, and I don't even think she realizes it. Because if he hadn't have done that, I would still be stuck in the situation that I was stuck in. But because he did what he did, my eyes finally became open to what I was putting myself through, and the people that loved me that I'd alienated from my life because of him. I was finally like, okay, I get it, I see now, I see. And I can honestly tell you guys, yes, I do still deal with anxiety, I do. But that is when I sit down and I talk to God, or I listen to music, or I write in my journal, and it really does help, because I know how loud it can get. Sorry, one more second, I'm sorry. I know how loud it can get inside your head. Anxiety can get really loud sometimes, but I just want you to know that you are here for a reason. Anybody out there that deals with anxiety of what your life is going to be, if you're ever going to meet anybody, if you're ever going to have the family that you always dreamed about, to stop questioning and have faith. And I haven't had a panic attack in so long. And it's the best feeling to just let go. Let go. God said inside my head, anxiety, let her go. And you guys, I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, he said, let her go. And now look at me. If you guys can't tell a difference, I'm very surprised if you can't tell a difference in me, because I've let go. Not completely yet, but enough so that I see how lucky I am and how blessed I am to have the people in my life that I do, and have my friends and my my parents and my cat, who's going to be 1 year old in a few days. Anyways, my baby. Anyways, I know a lot of things in life can cause anxiety. Like if you're jobless, like me right now. But I have an interview on July 9th. Thank the Holy Lord. Thank you, God, right now for that. But just don't stress over things you can't control. Don't stress over trying to be this perfect person, because it's not worth it. It's not. None of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. But I've just realized how lucky I am. But if it wasn't for anxiety, I wouldn't really realize how far I've come. And it's an important emotion, if you look at a certain way. Anxiety is an important emotion, but I'm glad that I've let go from most of the things that used to give me anxiety. But anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry I kept having to go off camera, but I don't want you guys to see me sweating. I know it's not attractive, and I'd rather just go off camera and wipe it off than do it on camera. But I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye bye.